Using the old Victor pattern torch to burn some caps for those pipe bollards. Gotta cut off some pipe bollards at the car wash and weld some caps on them. Going to be finishing up on this video. Going to probably be finishing up the next phase of the car wash. Might not have any more to do down there after this for a little while. But I'm wanting to show the old pattern torch. In this video here, if you watched at the bottom, you see where the torch is cutting the metal. And you watch at the top, you see where the motor with its magnetic shaft is sticking to the pattern and rotating and following that pattern around. Never done a video. I don't have it timed perfectly, but it's a good enough video to show you how that machine works. And I've had a lot of people interested in that old machine because this is the old school CNC before the computers. But it still works, you know, good old reliable stuff. And I've got a magnet there that I use to pop that piece out. It's actually one of them ground clamp magnets. They're a lot more useful for picking up hot parts than they are using as a ground clamp, if you ask me. So anyways, now we're out here on site. I'm using my pipe wrap and getting a mark on that pipe. I'm going to use a torch and cut it off. And since I'm using the torch, there'll be a lot of sparks flying. I'm putting up a board to protect that that flashing there and the door. So just taking the torch and cutting the pipe off because we want these pipe bollards to be the same height, you know, as the other ones that are across the front of there. And then I'll, when they're cut off, everything's the same height. We'll weld some caps on them. I had some trouble, actually had to leave the location after I got these torched off. And what happened was I had to go put a battery in my welder. And I haven't replaced the battery in that weld machine for quite a while. I was surprised how old it actually was. That battery that was in that weld machine was from 2015. And the way my rig's set up, I've got a solenoid switch that separates the truck battery from the welder battery, but connects it when I turn the key on in the truck. So when I'm driving down the road, the welder battery and the truck battery are both being charged. However, the way that solenoid switch works, when I turn the key off on the truck, those batteries are disconnected. That way, if one of them's dead, it doesn't kill the other. And that system worked real good, but I think it caused me to run my welder battery a lot longer than I probably should have. It should have been replaced a lot sooner. But the truck charging system was juicing up a bad battery just enough that when I got on site, my welder would start, even though the battery in the welder wasn't a very good one. But anyways, we got the caps welded on them pipe bollards. And if you saw the other video, then you saw me using the Art Captain MiG 200 to fabricate that little arm. And I just took the top hinge off of the arm and I'm tacking it on the pipe bollard. And with it tacked in place, I just use a jack stand on the other end and I can put this arm up there. If you didn't see the other video where I built this arm in the shop, then you probably don't realize what it's for. But there's a blower timer that's going to go on the end of it. This is a timer that be there at the car wash, and it'll tell you how to pace yourself as you drive out because the blowers are drying your vehicle off. It'll tell you how much more blower time you got. So anyways, with that arm positioned and leveled and where I want it, I welded the hinges onto it. And that way they can put their timer there. And if somebody drives into it, it'll swing a little bit. Now, I didn't make these hinges where they'll swing 90 degrees. I don't want them swinging into a vehicle, but it will swing a little bit so that there's some give there. And then this other deal, we just run some 1/8 inch 5P and welded them caps on. So we're back at the shop here now, and we're getting prepared to raise the elevation of that pay station roof that I built. And what I'm having to do, if you look at that bevel's backwards from most pipe bevels. But what I'm having to do, I'm fabricating some 15-inch extensions, and we're going to cut the posts off on that pay station roof, and we're going to weld 15 inches into it and make it higher. This new car wash machine, it turns out, would accept vehicles a lot taller than they thought. And I think they set their pay station roofs into concrete a little too deep. And so with all that done, the only thing that we can do to bring up, the elevation of it is to cut the posts off and weld some 15-inch extensions in there. So that's why I'm fabricating these pieces. And what these are 15-inch long pieces of 4.5-inch pipe. Or it's 4-inch pipe, it's 4.5 OD. And I've got some 1-inch long sleeves of 3.5-inch pipe that I'll be using as a backing strip. Now, obviously, you could go out there and bevel your pipe and not use the backing strip. Put a root bead in it and fill it up that way. But, if you on something structural, if you've got the option to do it the way I'm doing it here, you're better off. It's gonna save you when you get out there. It's gonna save you the hassle because you can just fit this thing together and really lay the smoke to it with a backing strip on it like that. So we'll head out there with these parts and we'll get the pay station roofs raised up. My buddy brought out the Peterbilt tank truck, septic tank truck, using the hoist system on it to raise the roof on this pay station. I'm getting the pipes cut off right here. I'm using my Milwaukee 8-inch saw, and it zipped right through everything till right there at the last minute where it was wanting to sort of bind up. You run into that with those saws where the blade wants to bind up whenever something's not just perfect. But we got it cut off there, and the little bit that was left, we pretty much ended up breaking it off there, but it was fine. Didn't hurt the pipe any. It was just a little spot I had to do a little doodabbing with a grinder and get it fit up and welded up. But we lifted that thing off there, got it cut off, lifted it off there, and then just you can see how the hoist system on the tank truck works. And we just used the bed of the tank truck as a place to hold that roof so I could go ahead and put my parts in place. Those 15-inch prefab sections. The technique I used there was to set that in place, set the sleeve down in like I had it ready to do, and I find the area that it's leaning away from and make a tack. And then I hinge back on that tack the other side like I'm doing right there. Then I'll put my level the other way, hinge on those two tacks until I'm plumb. And at that point, you can start welding. It is where it is. So it's good. And since I was in the position on the ladder there, I went ahead and welded up everything I could reach. Next thing would be to use the tank truck again and hoist that thing in place. Not sure what slipped or moved. We did get it like really close, but it was low on the outside, and my buddy got a board or something and tried to push it upward. And when he did that, it kind of went haywire on us for a minute. It wasn't no big deal. There wasn't any risk of it falling. We didn't have it. We didn't have it where it was centered in its weight. at that point for a moment for some reason, but we got set back in place and got it right, and then realized that even with that one side low, we could just prop it up with a ladder, and got that ladder underneath there while I had the torpedo level on the pipe, and just kind of shifted the ladder around until it was setting good. And then we were in good shape to go ahead and get that tank truck out of the way. Here I am getting this thing finally welded together, and I did grind all these welds off and sand them flat. The idea being that this splice being, up there at eye level where you would see it where you pulled up on a vehicle, I was wanting to hide it all. We do have some other splices on the other pay station roofs because of the fact that we set the pipe bollards into concrete before we decided to do the pay station roof, so we had to add on. We didn't grind those off on the other ones, but they're like 6 inches from the ground. It's sort of a thing where you drive up in your vehicle and never see it. Now here, the local legend of all things of construction business came to visit. And it made my day, but don't tell that old geezer that. Well, back to work, we got that height bar that's got to be put into place. And we did do some adjustments on it. I ended up cutting about 1.5 inches off, which was great. That's what you would want, is to have it a little bit too long and, trim it to fit. That was the plan. Cut about 1.5 inches off of it, and we used a ratchet strap and measured it a few times. It's one of them things we're hoping you don't have to do it twice. We checked it. Of course, it's kind of a judgment call. The concrete right there is not perfectly level. It's sloped where water can run and whatnot. And after we had cut 1.5 inches off of it, we took our measurement and realized we wanted to go down just a little. So my buddy put some marks on it with soapstone and then clicked the ratchet strap down while he watched those marks. And then it was ready to weld. I used a screwdriver and sort of pried it where the pipe was in the center of the holes that I made. Just getting everything even, so that it wasn't tight on one side and huge gap on the other. I wanted that nice, even 1/8 inch gap all the way around the pipe. That's why you see me using the screwdriver here. I jammed that in there and it gave me that little bit of leverage to get that centered up. And then I go in, make a tack, and get it straightened up and weld it. And here again, this is another job I did with Arc Captain. This is the Arc Captain MiG 200 and running the 035 flux core wire. Did a great job. Different times. There were times on this job where I ran the MiG 200 on 110 volt, and there were times where I run it on 220. Now, the overhead welding that I'm doing right now, I was running on 110 volt. And I did weld one of the 4 splice welds. I welded on 110 volt. And I feel like I had enough heat to get the job done on 110 volt, but it was slower. I feel like I was welding slower. Even because when I set it on 035 flux core wire on 110 volt and turn the voltage all the way up, it goes to, I think, 16 something. And of course, if I'm plugged into 220 volt, it'll go up to 20.9, I think, or something like that. So it's a lot hotter, and hotter's faster. But on the The 110 volt was enough to get it done. I kind of go back and forth from time to time, just seeing what the machine will do. Getting to know what it's capable of on 110 and what it's capable of on 220. But I got the height bar welded around it. Kind of jumped back and forth there from one ladder to the other, and welded it up and power brushed those welds off. And that was pretty much the end of this deal. That was finishing this up, and time to wrap it up and call it a day. $15 higher. Installed that height bar too. 035 arc captain flux core on this. So that's pretty good do's and done there. I think we're done here for a while. There'll be something else comes up, but I want to thank y'all for watching, and remember, like I always say, learn how to work with what you got. That way you always have everything you need. Hey y'all, CB here in the break room at NBS Welding, coming to you with another merch video. Want to look at the merchandise, show you what we got. You can help support the channel by buying items. We got the NBS Welding t-shirts, got the NBS Welding on the chest on the front, got the great big NBS Welding here on the back, got the American flag on the sleeve. $25 plus shipping. Send Tina an email if you'd be interested in buying a t-shirt. $25 plus shipping. Send Tina an email, nbswelding@aol.com. The stickers. Got the small size stickers, $3. Medium sticker, $5. The big bumper stickers, $10. The coins, .999 fine silver. If you'd be interested in investing in the silver coin, got NBS Welding name and phone number on the front. Got the bull logo on the back. $50. $50 for the coins. Also with the coins, we've got the plastic case. Keeps the silver nice. Keeps it from getting fingerprinted and all that scratched up. The NBS welding cups. Got the NBS welding cups with the bull logo, and it says less yakking, more tacking. Got the QR code on the top. You can scan that. It'll take you to the NBS welding YouTube channel. $27 for a cup. And I've had somebody said that I should sign the cups. I'm not doing that yet. I don't know if you want me to do that or not. But if you want a cup and you want me to sign it, I'll take a Sharpie and I'll sign it. I'll write whatever you want on there. Let us know. Send us an email. nbswelding@aol.com. Email Tina. And I'm not wearing an NBS shirt. I'm wearing a Kretschmer excavating shirt. These are my buddies up in northeastern PA. If you need excavation work done in Wayne County, northeastern PA area, get a hold of my guy Cody up there. He can dig it. All right. I want to thank y'all for watching the NBS Welding YouTube channel. I appreciate all the support. Please continue to support, like, subscribe to videos, comment on the videos. If you don't have a comment, just go to the comment section, hit any letter, number, the period, whatever. The algorithm doesn't know the difference. Just, that helps support the channel. It helps get the videos out there. And y'all learn how to work with what you got. That way you always have everything you need.